Climate change is melting glaciers, big and small, at an unprecedented rate. Most are close to the Earth's poles, while some are in the tropics, almost entirely in the Andes mountain range. Those glaciers, most of which are in Peru, have been hardest hit by global warming.
For millions of years, these glaciers have been virtually unchanged. Just in my lifetime, climate change has caused such accelerated melting that this glacial lagoon has grown in volume by 34 times, and with it, the risk of a catastrophic flood hitting the city below.
It's feared this lake underneath the Palcococha Glacier could break its banks. For the last 7 years, it's been the subject of a groundbreaking legal case against Germany's largest electricity producer, RWE. Local farmer and mountain guide Saul Luya is the plaintiff in the lawsuit.
As a mountain guide, I've been able to understand from the summit how glacial melt is happening right in front of our eyes, how glacial melt has made these lakes appear and how these lakes have been growing.
Luya claims that his house further down the mountain in the city of Huaraz is at imminent risk of being damaged or destroyed by a flood and landslide from this lake. He contends that RWE has contributed nearly 0.5% of global man-made emissions since the Industrial Revolution and should pay the equivalent fraction of the costs for flood protection, around $18,000 in his particular case.
Yes, absolutely.
German judges and court-appointed experts visited Palcococha Lake this week to investigate.
This is the absolute first case globally where judges travel from one country where the jurisdiction is to the country where the damage is, and to where it is actually climate change related.
Exactly.
There's a strong possibility that a chunk of ice could fall off the glacier into the lake, causing a catastrophic flood to hit Huaraz, says geomorphologist Dr. Martin Mergeli.
We have to consider that it's not only the glaciers which are retreating, but it is also the permafrost in the rock which is thawing, so that the glue which is holding the rock together is weakening. There is more liquid water in the rock, which weakens the whole structure of the rock. And it is a possibility that a large chunk of rock with the ice on it falls into the lake. Yes, and then we talk about the possibility of millions of cubic meters.
For now, these tubes siphon off water to keep the lake level down, and local authorities have installed an early warning system.
Authorities here also understand that this case is about much more than this specific example of flood risk, about the 50,000 people living in this one danger area here in Huaraz, but it's about setting a precedent for holding major emitters responsible and for supporting vulnerable people impacted by climate change here in Peru and in other countries around the world.
Down below, the Nueva Florida neighborhood is where a potential flood could strike homes, including Luya's. These people and their livelihoods are threatened. This case could be the first to hold fossil fuel companies accountable, however far away the impact might be. Dan Collins, CGTN, in Huaraz, Peru.